This is Rabbi Aaron Box from Temple Beth Shalom in Ocala, Florida. Back again for the next episode of my podcast. Today's podcast is going to be a little bit different, um, as there was a great loss suffered today by myself and many of my colleagues and close friends, as well as the Jewish community and really the world in general. Rabbi Dr. David Ellenson, former dean of the Hebrew Union College, president of the Hebrew Union College, um, passed away, and he was a rabbi's rabbi, a mensch's mensch. If you were to look up the definition of mensch in the dictionary, there would just be a big picture of his smiling face. He was the kindest of men, the kindest of people, a true friend, the kind of person that you knew his value the moment you met him. He was brilliant. He was a scholar. He was a great teacher, a wonderful speaker, and he was a good friend to anyone that knew him. Even if you knew him just for a few moments or casually. Um, I remember meeting him for the first time when I was a rabbinic student in Israel for my first year in Israel program, and he came and spoke to the students, and I fell in love with this man the moment I met him. He just was an amazing human being. His smile lit up the room. His warmth radiated from him into anywhere he was, and he was just true person, truest, purest that could ever exist. It was in my either my second or my third year, and I heard a rumor that he was thinking of retiring from his post as president of HUC. And I happened to see him at a conference, or he came to Cincinnati, I forget which one. And I asked him if I could speak with him privately for a moment, and he said, of course, because that was the kind of person he was. He would drop whatever he was doing to help in any way he could. And I came over to him and he said, "What's going on, Aaron?" And I said, I understand, or I heard rumor that you're thinking of retiring. And he kind of smiled a little bit like, yeah, I know where this is going. And I said to him, I said, just promise me you won't retire until after I'm ordained. And he just reached out and gave me a huge hug, like only he could. And I said, I'm assuming this hug is that promise. Because I didn't want anybody else to lay their hands on my head and ordain me and give me smicha, because he just, such an amazing person. And, you know, every time I saw him after ordination, whether it was at a conference or when I was in Knoxville, he came out and was a scholar in residence at the University of Tennessee's Jewish study program. He made time for me. He made time to meet with me, even though he had a jam-packed schedule. He made time to take me to lunch. And the first thing he said was, "How's Batya? How are the kids?" He made every moment personal. And when we were talking at that lunch and just reminiscing about old stories that, you know, from when I was in rabbinical school and in the years I had become a rabbi, he genuinely cared about the conversation. The server walked over a couple times, and David didn't say to me, "Just a moment, Aaron, let me talk to the server." The server came over and just waited patiently, as if the server knew the importance of the words coming out of his mouth, knew the importance of his being in that moment. And no one has ever made me feel, as a rabbi, as a Jewish person, as a Jewish professional, as a human being, like he did. As I was scrolling through Facebook earlier and watching or looking at all of my friends and colleagues who were posting about him, whether the post was a short post or a long post, pretty much everybody said the same thing about him. He was a mensch of mensches. He was a teacher of teachers. He was a rabbi's rabbi. Not a soul on this earth, at least not that I'm aware of, could ever reach the pureness of his soul. My heart goes out to everyone who knew him, to all of us who had the blessing of having him in our lives, but also to his family, who I'm sure are going through gut-wrenching moments right now with this loss, and my heart goes out to them. David would never have wanted a big to-do, a big funeral or a big memorial or a big, anything, because that wasn't his style. And it's because that wasn't his style that he deserves the greatest of tributes from everybody and anyone that knew him. A true scholar, a southern, gentle scholar, gentle giant he was. And I will always have the picture of him ordaining me and giving me the biggest hug in front of the ark at Isaac Meyer Wise Plum Street Temple as he whispered the ordination, as he whispered the smicha, the passing of the smicha, the giving of the ordination to me. That moment I will have embedded on my mind for the rest of my life. And if there's any memory of David that I want to have in the front of my mind, it is the picture of him and me and my entire family standing at the ordination in Cincinnati. And it was like he was part of the family. He didn't look out of place or at all. He just looked like he was a part of my family, and he was, and he is, and he always will be. So I can say, Zichrono livracha. May his memory, may this tzaddik, this righteous, holy man, may his memory be for a blessing. And may all of us be comforted in our mourning of him and his loss. And may those memories that we have of him and the moments we spent with him, may they continue to enrich us in our lives. And may they continue to enrich every moment moving forward. At the end of the day, we all must die. This is true. And it's a tremendous loss. But once again, it is the memory, it is who we have become since knowing him that allows for him to still be with us, even if it isn't in physical being. He's with us in spirit. He's with us in memory. He's with us in all of the ways he taught us and how we became who we are today. So, may he be in peace. May he rest in peace. And may his memory always be for a blessing. Amen.